Hello, everybody. It's coming in. We are going to be back on the Rick Chow case today. Let me get my other account in here so I can share because TikTok Studio hates me and I cannot share lives on this one. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn the sound down. So I'm just sharing this out, and then we are going to get in to the Rick Chow case and everything going on here. Let's see. Share it with everybody. There we go. All right. So we are about to be back on this today. We are still on the first day of the Rick Chow case. A couple of things have come up here. We have seen the opening arguments from prosecution and defense. Prosecution says, no, he unalived him. Defense says, well, Cyrus, the young man who is unfortunately unalived in this situation, defense is claiming that he utilized the gun he had on him to unalive or to try and unalive Rick Chow's son, Andy Chow. And so they're claiming this is their self-defense, right? We had the first deputy testify. First deputy was like, bruh, he didn't say anything about having a pew-pew pointed at him when I discussed this with him. However, defense is alleging maybe he said this to other officers. We also had a guy who does, oh my God. Okay. We also had a guy, TikTok's always giving me restrictions, which is wild because why? This is not unoriginal content. I'm literally sitting here talking. So anyway, so we also had a guy that does videos, processes the body cams and other videos that come in because Rick Chow in his store had a video system that he also had to process, and we've seen a lot of back and forth and a lot of sidebars between defense and prosecution, and frankly, some of this shit should have taken place in pretrial motions. I'm not even going to lie to you, but we're about to have another witness come to the stand. I'm unsure of who this is, and so we're going to go ahead and get into it.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony within this case to be truth and whole truth and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you for accepting the witness stand and state your full name for the record. State your full name.
Lori Ann Carson.
Thank you. I ran out of work to tell you about the All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Carson.
Good afternoon.
Tell the jury just briefly, just to get acquainted with you, and two things I'll ask real quickly. You got a court reporter who's here. She's going to be taking everything down that you say, so it just needs you to speak loudly enough for her to hear you and for each of the members of the jury. And also, I'm glad you did that. If you're not in your head or saying, if you could just say yes or no so that the court reporter can take it down clearly and nobody will assume what you're saying. We just want to make sure it's all clear.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Where are you from?
Originally, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
And what brought you to South Carolina?
My husband was in the military in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He got out there and then we moved here to Columbia, South Carolina, where his parents reside.
What branch?
Army.
All right. And are you currently employed?
I am.
Where are you employed?
United States Postal Service.
How long have you been there?
25, 26 years.
All right. All right. And do you have other family here in South Carolina?
No. I have just my husband's family and my kids, but my family's in Kentucky.
All right. And so your kids are physically here in South Carolina? Okay. Are they in Columbia?
Yes.
All right. And do you grandmother?
Yes.
How many grands you got? It makes you smile when you talk about that.
Yes, 8.
You got 8?
8.
All right. So Let me ask you this. We're going to focus a little bit more specifically on 2023.
Yes.
So May 2023, you said you have 3 children who are here?
I do.
All right. Do you mind naming them?
I do mind.
Okay. You do mind? Do you have a daughter named Kim?
I do.
All right. And was she living in Columbia back in 2023?
She was.
What side of town was she living on?
Side of town, I don't know if that's, I live on Northeast. I don't know if that's still the Northeast area of Columbia, or she lived off of Spring Tree, off of,
So for the Spring Tree Park Lane area?
yes, yes, I don't know what kind of,
So would that have been the area where the convenience store is
It's just
located?
establishing that she lived in the area.
yes.
All right. Now I'm going to show you just a couple things real quick. First, it states
Hello,
exhibit number
you're welcome
18,
up
states
whenever.
exhibit number 19. Oh, you did it. Okay. Thank you. So take a look at states 18 and 19. Do either of those photos look familiar to you?
They do.
All right. So if we start with states exhibit number 18, and I think it's up on the board now, so you handle that to me.
Yes.
Take a minute. So the first one is states 18. Tell me what that is.
A convenience store?
Okay. Which convenience store is that?
Shell station?
All right.
No worries.
And I'm
Just
gonna
take
show
your time,
you
love,
states number
whenever you're
16.
ready.
Now that's more of an aerial view. Is that a better
That's
rendition?
correct, yes.
Okay. What is it you're seeing there?
The convenience store, Spring Tree, Park Lane.
All right. Well, the corners of Spring Tree and Park Lane.
Yes.
And that's the area where your daughter was living back in 2023.
Yes.
All right. Now, if we focus a little bit more specifically on that particular day, can you tell me a little bit about what was going on, what you were doing that day?
We was,
So I think he's trying to establish like the daughter lived very close to the area, maybe important to where they're at, why they were there, et cetera, and why this witness is now testifying. So I don't know that we'll see her daughter, but she apparently had something to do with this. And remember, we're observing this as what we believe like jurors would be observing when things are presented to them. This is a goal here. I know I've kind of gone through a little bit of this side, motions and objections and things like that. And when they're arguing about evidence, because I'm not hearing the judge dismiss the jury, but that's not something you want to consider here. You want to consider just what the jury is hearing.
going with my daughter and grandkids, was going to see a movie that they chose, and we just thought Sunday, day before the holiday, we'd just go out and enjoy ourselves.
So you indeed went to see a movie that day?
We did.
All right. And after the movie, what is it that you decided to do?
Take Kennedy back home, but she needed to stop at the store to get something to drink.
Okay. And so the store that we are looking at, is that the store that you stopped at to get something to drink?
Yes,
Had you been in that store before?
twice.
All right. Can you tell me why you've gone into that store?
Yes, my grandkids had been looking for some candy slime liquors, so I was on the hunt trying to find the candy that they wanted. So I stopped in there once, and
Now
they
that's
was
a
like,
grandma.
come back in probably a couple of weeks. They should have it then. So the second time I stopped back in there, and I don't believe I purchased it then. They were still stocking up.
But having gone into that store at least 2 times, you were familiar with the layout of the store?
Yes.
A little bit familiar with the
Where
decorations?
candy was at, yes. I
Where
knew where to
candy-
go to find it.
Yes, ma'am. And you're a little bit familiar with the decorations in the store?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you something Stacey did in number 52.
Same objection, Mr. Porter.
I missed it apparently, Law.
Okay. I'm showing you what's been listed as Stacey's Exhibit 52. Can you tell me if you recognize that picture?
I did.
All right. And in recognizing that picture, you said, were there anything like photos or decorations that stood out to you when you were in that store?
Yeah, a lot of photos.
Okay. And is what you're looking at from States 52 a fair and accurate representation of the photos that you saw when you walked into that store?
Yes.
Now, as we focus a little bit more on that particular day, you drove into the gas station to, or the Shell station, the convenience store side of this,
Yes.
to pick up maybe some slime liquor or a drink for your daughter,
Candy.
or some candy. And what happened next?
As I was pulling in onto the lot, I noticed I noticed Cyrus coming out and taking off running with the.
Okay, so this is a key witness. Like, this is somebody who saw at least the beginning of this interaction, right? Like, because we know he entered the store, he put his bag on the cooler, he walked around, looked at a few things, grabbed some waters, but put the waters back, and then comes to the front. They accuse him, and then he ends up exiting because he's like, I'm not dealing with this shit. I didn't steal anything. And yeah, I mean, he didn't say that specifically, or nobody said he said that, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Two other gentlemen behind following suit.
You said following suit. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Hold on. So this is important right here because she said two other gentlemen came out to follow him. Is like, I'm wondering, is there a buffer time between when, so as like, this is based off of stuff we've heard before and some of the stuff from the defense. Is there a buffer time there between, because the way the defense has presented it, Andy Cho and then Rick Cho followed a little bit after, like he's kind of pursuing after, like he wasn't right there. So that's something I'm going to start to wonder about.
So,
What kind of car were you driving that particular day?
BMW SUV.
Okay, BMW SUV?
Yes.
All right. I'd like to show slide number 20 from safety tip number 4. Now, if you're looking at the top corner of that screen, can you tell me what you can see?
I see my vehicle turning onto Spring Street.
So that vehicle right there, is its paused, that's your vehicle?
That is my vehicle.
And tell me again what type of vehicle that is.
2017 BMW S5.
So,
Okay, so let's talk about what we just saw. So we see the vehicle, we see who I'm presuming to be Cyrus exiting, and then a couple of moments later, we see both men running behind them. Now, the way at least I had perceived the defense presenting this was that like Andy Cho and him kind of are getting into it, right? And Andy Cho starts pursuing him, but Rick Cho is following behind. Not in a way that like they're both kind of coming out at the same time. So now I've got questions as to, and maybe it's perhaps me, maybe it's the way that I heard them present that, but this is important here because the way that the defense presented, at least in my opinion, and what I heard was that once they get to this point where the thing, you know, the shooting takes place, was that Rick Cho kind of comes up on this and sees Cyrus aiming at Andy Cho, which is Rick Cho's son here. So he's following, but it's kind of looking like he's right there. I mean, maybe he fell behind or maybe he's a little bit older. I don't know, but I've got a lot of questions now about the defense's framing of this.
what is it about when you pulled into this area that commanded your attention? Let's talk about that a little bit more. You said you saw a young man walk out of the store?
I saw him walking out and then taking off, running with the two gentlemen running behind him.
Okay. You said two gentlemen running behind him. What, if anything, stood out to you as they were running behind this young man?
His shoe flew off when he was.
Now, where would you have been to watch this shoe fly off?
I had pulled onto the lot and I stopped,
Okay.
so I was able to see it.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibits number 21. I'm sorry, State's Exhibits 20, 21, and 22.
Are we introducing the shoe? I think that may be it.
So I'm going to hand you State's 20. Can you tell me what that is a photo of?
Yes, Spring Tree Drive.
Okay. I'm going to show you states 21. Can you show me what that's a photo of?
Just a bigger view of Spring Tree Drive.
Is that also the corner of that store in the parking lot?
Yeah, parking lot. Yes.
7441 Parkland Road?
Yes.
The store belonging to Rick Chow, the defendant?
Yes.
No. You sure? Yeah. Let's start with 20. So can you explain to the jury about where you would have been as you pulled into that store and you saw?
If you're coming in, this is the Rick Chow case. This is the gentleman who owned a gas station in South Carolina who unalived a young man who was 14. And then he was found not guilty of murder. I'm going through this, so I want to know how the jury arrived at this decision. So we're trying to watch this from the perspective of what the jury is seeing and how they may have gotten to this conclusion.
Two adults chasing Cyrus.
I would have been just on the edge. I pulled into onto the lot, so I was at the edge,
Okay. And I'm gonna,
just off the street.
so what I'll do, you're going to witness that now? So I have you, if you don't mind, Ms. Carson, I'm going to give this to you, and you can point out. Are you comfortable pointing on this one?
Yes.
Or you want
Oh,
me to
that's
use these?
interesting.
All right. Show us about where you would park.
I parked right here. I stopped right here.
Stopped in that area?
Yes.
And what you're telling us is that's where you saw
No
the
worries,
defendant, Rick
Attorney
Chow,
Guy.
and
Take your
someone
time.
else chasing Cyrus across the parking lot.
Yes.
All right, you can have a seat, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as states. States 24, slide 24 from states number 4, exhibit number 4. Tell me what you see in that video.
My vehicle and Mr. Gerald and the other gentleman running.
And is that what you experienced on May 28th, 2023?
Yes.
And that caught your attention?
Yes.
What did you see next?
I saw Cyrus run across the street. I saw a female, I guess, I don't know if this is or not. I saw her pick up his shoe.
And did you continue to watch this whole incident unfold?
I did.
And you watched from your vantage point right there at the corner that you just pointed out to the jury?
Yes.
Tell us what you saw from that vantage point.
At that point, I saw Cyrus run across the street, them chasing him. I saw Cyrus trip, and he got up, and I was excited because I wanted him to continue running, but he didn't get up straight up. I thought he tripped again, and he went down.
Did you at any point in time see anything in Cyrus?
Hey, Law. Any thoughts so far? Sorry, I'll stop and then we can get back into it.
Nope. I think the witness testimony is pretty straightforward so far.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
It looked like the only piece of evidence they were trying to get in through her so far was the shoe and the wall of shame that was at the gas station of previous shoplifters.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I have a question on this sort of like wall of shame, right? Like I'm wondering if I get why they're trying to do it, but I'm wondering if maybe it's because like they're trying to say like they have other ways that they deal with shoplifters, kind of like putting that out there. Like why chase this kid? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be going to the malice aforethought that, hey, your normal practice of dealing with shoplifters is to put a picture up. In this case, though, you chased the person down and shot them. So, yeah, I think it's to try and bolster the malice aforethought that's required for the sole charge that the state decided to charge him with.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you, Law. I appreciate it. All right.
His hands?
I did not.
Would you be at a point where you could see things that were in his hands?
Yes.
All right. What happened next?
Hold on, that's important because it's just like, did you see a gun in his hands? And she's saying, no, I didn't. And he's asking again, like, could you see the things that were in his hands? But like, if this is also, I guess maybe they're asking from the perspective of him still being chased. But if this is like a football field away, like I wear glasses and I don't even know that I could have seen what was in his hands that far away. I'll just make that side note real quick.
Yeah, I mean, she can only testify to what she saw personally. So I'm sure on cross they're gonna bring up that now you didn't see where the encounter happened, you didn't witness the encounter, or whatever the case may be. But what the state's gonna try to do is say, hey, at least up until the point where this witness couldn't see what was happening anymore, there was no weapon present in the victim's hand.
Yeah, and I'm so fucking nosy. I would not have stayed in that parking lot. I would have drove my ass down. I would have followed. Like, this is probably terrible, but I'm so nosy. That's how I am. I would have been like, hold on, let me see what's going on.
I know you are. You want all the body cameras from all the cases that you're not working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I just I'm nosy that way, you know, like, but it's not a harmful kind of nosy. If it ever becomes harmful, I'll change my practices. But so far, I've been okay.
Accountability Live Friday at 3.
Exactly. Friday, 3:30. 3:30. It's got to be 3. And if I show up, we got this. All right, let's get back into it real quick.
You can take your time.
I turned my vehicle around and went down to where they were located at. I stopped and I wrote down my window and asked, is everything okay? And he said, no, call 911.
So let's stop there. Before you drove down to see what was going on, could you see, you said Cyrus fell a second time?
He fell, he tripped over the curb, and then as he was getting up, he fell down again, so he didn't get upright. He didn't get upright to where he was.
What were the two men who were chasing him doing?
I saw the son. I saw both of them chase him. Then when I drove down there, I can't at this point because I had to turn my vehicle around. So I had to look left to make sure no car cut. So then I drove down there when I stopped and asked if they needed help.
See, she's on it. Like, okay, now I know she moved. Yeah, because that would have been me too. Thank you. I love this for her. Nosy bitch problems.
Was everything okay? The son, they was distance apart from Cyrus. Cyrus was in the middle of it, and Mr. Chow was in front of Cyrus. Cyrus was already laying on the ground, and the father was near the position where his head was at.
So let me ask this, just to make sure I'm getting this chronologically correct. Before you drove down there, you saw them run in front of your car.
Yes.
All right. And you saw him fall a couple times.
Yes.
All right. And then as he fell, you saw him, when he fell the final time, can you tell us where they were positioned?
I cannot tell you.
Can you tell us what, if anything, you saw Mr. Chow, the defendant in this case, doing, or his son doing when he fell the final time?
The final time when I saw him, he was already moving towards the front of Cyrus.
Okay.
And the son was behind Cyrus, but a little ways off from where Cyrus was at. It's like the son ran up near the curb and stopped. It's like he didn't move no further.
Okay. And you saw Cyrus fall the final time?
I did.
Was he ever pointing towards them or doing anything towards them that you could see?
No, that I could see, no.
And did you ever see anything in his hand?
I did not.
So when you actually went down to the scene, you said you drove down there. Did you at some point engage or have a conversation? Well, let me change this around a little bit. What is it that you saw when you finally got down to the scene? You said that you saw Cyrus on the ground. Tell me what was going on.
fine. When I got down there, Mr. Chow was down on his knees. Cyrus was on his back. And Mr. Chow has his hand out. And I asked, where'd the blood come from? Are you bleeding? Are you hurt? I said, who's hurt? And he said, him. So I looked at Cyrus and I said, where? Because I didn't see no blood in it. And so by then there was another female, and Mr. Chow, they rolled him over and they raised his shirt up. And I saw the hole in the back. And they rolled him back over and I cleared. By then he had leaves in his mouth.
Wait. Okay, he shot him in the back, not through the chest?
Yeah, she just testified that she saw the hole in the back of the shirt, so that would be shot in the back.
Yeah, no. I'm just trying because, like, if I don't know South Carolina, but if somebody's fleeing, which generally, if you're shooting them in the back, I would assume that's what's occurring. I don't know. That gives me a little bit of like, what? Like, what is he shot in the back? Maybe his positioning. I'm trying to be cool, but like, also, if you shoot him in the back, how did you see him? Like, if that's your vantage point, how are you seeing him pointing at your son with the supposed weapon? That's sort of the question that's going on in my head right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you're thinking like a reasonable juror. These are questions that have to be answered. It's not immediately invalidates a self-defense claim, but it makes it significantly more difficult if the claim is, that you needed to do it in self-defense and yet his back was to you. It makes it harder to prove.
Yeah, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Law. All right, ready to go.
And I cleared the way because he had started making gurgling, so I thought he was trying to breathe. So I was trying to clear him so he can breathe. And I told him to, the female, and because I didn't know how to do CPR. So I told him to do CPR because he's trying to breathe. And I told him to do CPR. So the young lady started doing chest compression, and Mr. Chow was getting CPR mouth to mouth to him. And I just told him to keep on.
And you tried to do what you could to help with the situation after Cyrus had been shot.
Yes.
Do you know who shot Cyrus?
I don't know who shot, but I know when I went down there, when I turned my car around, went down there and stopped, Mr. Chow was in a shooting stance. Where he's standing upright with his legs, and he had his arms like this.
Like, can you stand and demonstrate to the jury what you mean by shooting stance? And hold on for a minute. Let me move this. May she come down again, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. When I drove down there and stopped, the scene was over here, and I rolled down my window, and he was in a stance like this.
And what did you do when you saw Mr. Chow in a stance like that, the defendant, Mr. Chow, in a stance like that?
I asked him, was everything okay? He said, no. Call 911.
And is that what you
Did
did?
he have the gun in his hand?
Yes, I had my family in the car, so I needed to get them out of danger and throw them up to the next apartment lot. And then I ran back down. And as I was going up, though, I was calling 911, but I was so nervous because I needed to get back down there and help them. And I just gave the phone to my daughter because I couldn't get the information out.
Court's indulgence. Yes.
Must be an objection.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
Show you what's been marked slash. So I'm going to show you what's been marked slash on here, State Exhibit 4. You can take a look at that, please. 21. I'm sorry, slide 21 of State Exhibit 4. just we loop back a little bit, just to go back to the beginning of this. What is it that you saw? Did you talk about shoot?
Shoe came on.
Okay, that's what you saw.
I saw him run. He on the red, bright red
Could you see-
sweatshirt, so I was able to see him. But I saw a shoe that's white, and it just flew off. He was running.
Could you see his face?
I saw his face.
Tell me what you saw.
He just looked frightened and scared. He looked like he needed help.
And how is it that you could say he looked frightened and scared? How do you say that?
The way his eyes were just like a young child, just in trouble, just needed help. He just looked scared. It just in his eyes.
Can they ask this like the question's a little bit like the framing is weird. Like I'm guessing I'm wondering like can they ask her to speculate like on what he was feeling at the time, or is it just kind of like I'm just curious.
So yeah, he carefully worded it to where, what did you see on his face?
Okay.
And how did he look to you? So she's not speculating on whether he was scared. She's testifying to what her perception of what she saw was, and that's permissible.
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good witness.
And is that what compelled you to do a little bit more?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because this is like one of my grandkids. One of my kids, just looked scared, and I just had to help. I could not do nothing. I could not do nothing. I could not. My daughter wanted me to. I could not. The best thing I could do was just get my family out the way. And I didn't mind if I got hurt, but I needed my family out the way, and I had to go down there and help them.
And that's what you did?
And that's what I did.
And later you had an opportunity to speak to law enforcement about what you did?
Yes.
You did that. And let's just be clear, you're not in any relation to anybody in this case, correct?
No.
You were with your family?
Yes.
And you watched all of these things unfold?
Yes.
Court's indulgence. So just to be clear, as you, your daughter, and grandkids were in that parking lot, you watched Cyrus run by. What, if anything, was in his hands?
I saw his backpack on his back, but I didn't see anything in his hand.
And as he ran down Spring Street, what was in his hands?
I didn't see anything in his hand.
And as he fell multiple times, what was in his hands?
I didn't see anything in his hand.
And from your vantage point, you feel certain you would have seen if something was in his hands?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I did. Thank you.
This prosecutor's pretty smooth.
Good afternoon.
I know this was a startling event. I need to ask you some questions. All right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you testified that you were with your daughter. You went to this store to purchase something, a drink or something. Is that correct?
We was going there to purchase that, but we never made it inside.
And we've seen a video of your automobile, BMW SUV, I think you said, turn off of Park Lane onto Spring Creek, and then you say you immediately pulled into the parking lot of the station.
Yes.
And maybe when we get this going. Technology.
Oh, an old fuck having problems with tech in the courtroom. That's center square on the bingo card.
I'll ask you some
I
questions.
swear to God.
Now, your SUV, you were riding with, where was your daughter? And your daughter's name is Kennedy?
Kennedy,
All right, and how old is she?
30. She's old. She's 30.
Don't say that's old.
She's not a baby.
She's a young lady, but she was seated in the passenger seat of your automobile. Is that right?
No, Kennedy was behind me. My granddaughter was on the passenger side.
All right, so which side of the automobile was she sitting?
She was directly behind me.
And are your the windows in your vehicle are tinted?
Yes, they are.
And so, let me ask you to step down.
Not the fucking window tint. I'm sorry. Fucking Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, let me get this for you. What's up? And our solicitor has hidden the pointer. Oops, there it is. So, as you did before, would you reach up there and show the jury where your vehicle was?
Yes, I pulled off Spring Tree onto here.
Okay. So up beyond that bush, perhaps?
Right there.
All right. And so your view would have been down the road, and so as you testified, you watched through your window. Windows were rolled up in your vehicle, I think?
Yes, they're legally tinted though, they're not.
Okay. And the three people you saw run past you, would you kind of give the jury an indication with your pointer there where they ran by you, past you?
When I was pulling off, Cyrus was just stepping off all the steps as he started running. So Cyrus were here, and the other two gentlemen was just past my vehicle here.
Okay.
The shoe flew off. The lady came and picked it up.
All right.
I saw them go down because I had backed up.
And let me ask you to stop you there. You saw the shoe come off somewhere around that red car? Or
I don't recall. I don't recall.
do you recall?
I recall the shoe flying off. I saw that. I saw the lady come and pick it up.
All right. But that was sometime later that she came and picked it up? Or
Yes, she was. They was already off.
All right. And did you see the gentleman you're calling Cyrus? Did you see him throw 2 cell phones away?
No.
Didn't see that. You see him throw anything else away?
No, I did not. I didn't see anything in his hand.
Okay. Now, if you'll point up on that, you have to take a step up to get there. Point about where you believe that Mr. Belton, that's the person we're calling Cyrus, where his injury would have been. Where was it that you saw him being shot?
Ran across the street. This is like where he tripped at. Somewhere near. Somewhere here. I can't see like. Where he tripped and then he went down and then he shot it. Right up and he went down.
So your recollection is that it wasn't all the way there. It was much closer.
I cannot.
And I understand.
Yeah, that's
All right.
He ran across the street.
All right, if you'll have a seat, man.
Yes.
Are you aware that the Sheriff's Department indicates the distance from the store to where Mr. Belton tripped and fell was 130 yards? Are you aware of that?
No, but when I was down there, when I looked back up at the store, I myself just saw like the tip of the store. I couldn't see the whole store itself. So the distance, I don't know, but I know when I looked up there at the store myself, I just saw like the tip of the store. So it's kind of, I couldn't see. You can see the lot in the store. You can like see.
But your view through your rolled up window was 130 yards.
I don't know the distance. I'm not, you know.
Let's go back to when the 3 individuals ran past you. You didn't know who these people were.
No.
You did not know what was happening.
No.
You told the jury you didn't see anything in the first person's hands, the person we know to be, you're calling Cyrus.
No, I didn't see anything in his hand.
Nothing in his hands. Didn't see him throw anything away. You just saw him step out of the chute.
I saw him running, and when his leg went back, his shoe flew off. So I didn't see him throw anything. I didn't see a cell phone.
And was he carrying the backpack, or did he have it looped in his arms in a backpack traditional position?
I can't recall if it was looped in his arm. I didn't see that running like that. I thought it was on his back, and I was sure because
You certainly didn't know that he had a 9mm pistol
No, I
hidden
did
in
not.
his clothing
I did not.
in the front of his. Remember what he was wearing?
Yes, it was a bright red sweatshirt. He had on some darker jeans and some white. The tennis shoes was white, and sweatshirt was red.
Do you remember that he had a
Laser.
big pocket on the front?
I can't recall seeing a pocket. But
Now,
he did have
the
one.
second and the third people who were pursuing him or following him, let's not confuse you or the jury. The first person you were calling Cyrus.
Yes.
The second person, do you now understand what his name was? Andy?
The son?
Yes.
Okay.
That second person you saw?
I saw, I guess, Andy and Mr. Chow.
All right. Well, you saw Andy running after Cyrus.
Both
Yes.
of them. Yeah.
And Andy had nothing in his hands,
I can't recall what they had in their hand.
so you didn't notice whether he had anything.
I didn't notice if he had anything in his hand.
And the third person was the father, Mr. Chow, the gentleman seated over here.
Yes.
All right. You recognize him today?
Yes. I recognize him from
And
the
he also didn't have anything in his hands, did he?
I didn't see anything in his hand.
All right. And he was following his son. He was behind his son, wasn't he? As the videos had indicated.
Yes. It seemed like, well, in my view, it just seemed like they was running, so whether side by side or behind, but they
And
was
so
running after
you
him.
testified
Did
that...
you finish?
I'm sorry, I apologize for interrupting. Please
Thank
finish. Do you remember what you were saying when I interrupted you?
Repeat the question and I can answer it again.
Well, you saw, I think I asked, you saw nothing in Mr. Chow's hands. And
That's
he was,
correct. I didn't see anything in his hand.
and he was following his son. He was behind his son. As, and I said before you answered, as indicated on videos that took place.
Yes. What I saw, I just saw them run.
I'm gonna pause this. Law, absolutely yes. Night court for funsies. I'm down.
Have everybody do their petitions, and you can do the Judge Judy thing.
God, I'm mean enough. I think I could pull it off. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
There's no shortage of cases.
I swear to God, I want people to bring their stupid drama that like is always all over TikTok, and we'll just evaluate that dog shit. Like that would be fucking funny as hell.
Every ruling you're going to make is that both people have to delete their accounts.
Yes, yes. Like whoever wins, right? They don't have to delete theirs, but the other, yeah, I love it. I think that's perfect law. We should do that. We got to get that together.
I don't know who was in front, behind. I don't know. They was together running. That's what I saw.
And so then you saw the three of them proceed down the street 130 yards, or whatever the distance was. And you
Yes.
say that then you saw the person you're calling Cyrus fall.
He tripped over the curb
All right,
and went down and proceeded to get back up, and then he went down. He didn't get all the way up.
And you weren't able at that distance to see what he tripped on, were you?
He tripped over the curb. I saw that.
And when he began to get up, were you able at 130 yards to see that he had a gun in his hand?
No,
You couldn't see whether he had anything in his hand or not.
no.
Do you remember that? You remember seeing Andy Chow when
Yes.
this young man fell? Do you remember seeing him backing up into the middle of the street?
No. When I saw him, he was just standing still. I didn't see him back up.
In the middle of the street?
He was just standing still near the curb.
Okay. And you had no idea at that point that Cyrus had a 9mm pistol in
No.
his hand? When you saw him fall, you saw everyone stop. All three of them stopped.
Saw him. I don't know what they was doing. I saw my eyes was focused on him because of the red sweatshirt. I can't recall if they were backing up, whatever. But I saw him trip over the curb, get back up, and then trip again, and he went down. And that's when I went
Well,
down.
when he fell, neither of the Chows jumped on him, did they?
I didn't see it. I didn't see him jump on him. No.
Okay. They didn't touch him. They didn't jump on him. They
I don't
didn't
know.
attack him or nothing.
There was a time period where I had turned my vehicle around and I had to look left to make sure no car was coming. So whatever happened in that short period of time for me to look left and turn it back and go, I don't know what happened.
Well, that's not the time period I'm asking you about. I'm asking you about what you testified about. That when you saw him fall, neither of the Chows jumped on that young man when he fell.
No, I didn't see them jumping on him. No.
And the second time you say he tripped or fell, you don't know whether maybe that's when he was shot. You don't know.
I don't know.
In fact, you never heard a gunshot, did you?
I did not.
And when he fell
Interesting.
the second
Thank you,
time,
Rob.
or went down the second time, you did not see either Chow advance on him, attack him, did you?
I did not.
Now, The solicitor asked you about speaking to the sheriff's department. You went to the Richmond County Sheriff's Department at their request
Yes.
and gave an interview.
Yes.
In that interview, you mentioned, and it is correct, that you and your daughter participated in a 911 call.
Yes.
The 911 call was made after the second time Cyrus fell down.
Yes.
And in that Sheriff's Department interview, you indicated, as you said today, you were right there. Let's see. You were right there in that spot, though you in the 911 call, you were not able to exactly explain where you were. You knew you were at the intersection of the corner of this gas station.
I could not, because I was just so frantic at that moment. I could not recall the street I was on, and
I'm going to do a side note on this only because this is my anecdotal story. A lot of people think like when you're calling 911, and granted, I don't have a comparable story. I didn't see anybody get pew-pewed. Nothing like that. But my son, when he was younger, he was about 1 year old, he had a seizure. And at that time, my son was turning blue, his lips were turning blue. I couldn't competently even articulate to dial 911. Now, again, that's my son. It's a little bit more extreme. I think that something's going on. But I can tell you, at least from my experience, like, I can understand where she's coming from, because in your head, you don't like, sometimes you don't even know how to use your phone. Like it took me a hot minute to figure out how to dial 911. So like, I just want to put that out there for anybody who's like, oh, well, she should have been able to do X, Y, or Z. It may not be inherently true, because at least in my experience, again, anecdotally, like sometimes situations are so extreme that you forget how to unlock your fucking phone. So just a side note.
Well, and there's no universal response to trauma or stress. Every single person handles it differently. And I'm an EMT, and there are times where an EMT starts working on somebody and they forget to call for advanced support. So they show up and they start doing, emergency life-saving care, but nobody else is coming because they forgot to radio in. And there's training scenarios that we do where literally I was evaluating a new EMT, and so he's sitting there doing CPR in the Ambu Annie, and I'm literally just waiting, because the first thing you're supposed to do is call for ALS. Once you start calling on him, and the kid couldn't figure out like why he, after 10 minutes, he's still sitting there doing CPR, and he finally is just like, I'm too tired. I can't keep going anymore. And I was like, okay, why did you think you were going for 10 minutes? And he's like, I don't know. Nobody came. And I'm like, did you call anybody? And he said, oh, shit, no. So, I mean, these are people who are training to be emergency responders who, forget to call for ALS. So it's not surprising at all that somebody who might have little to no training doesn't have that frame of mind.
Like, yeah, like that's actually one of like that motivated me to go into like healthcare and public health. That experience that happened with my son, but like because I just felt so helpless. Like I couldn't understand what was going on. If you can imagine somebody with no medical training watching somebody have a grand mal seizure, you're not going to inherently necessarily know what that is. I just know my son's there. He's shaking. His lips are blue. His eyes are rolling back. Like it's horrible to watch. And like, I remember I couldn't do anything. I throw the phone at my partner at the time, and I'm like, hey, like call and he can't do it either. And like, I just remember getting my son outside and like, because I'm like, I got to get him as close to an ambulance as possible. And I'm like doing CPR and simultaneously like trying to call 911. Like, yeah, it's crazy stuff. So like, I can certainly imagine like that happens to EMTs as well. I mean, I worked with them a little, but I didn't know their day to day. I think I only went on one ride along once, so I didn't see a lot of that. But yeah, I could imagine that would happen as well.
I was nervous, and I handed the phone to my daughter to finish the conversation.
And so you never saw a gun in anybody's hands.
No.
And when you mentioned you turned your car around, you drove down, and you drove past where, well, you stopped where where the young man was, and Mr. Chow and his son.
Yes.
And you rolled the window down, I think you said.
Yes.
And Mr. Chow, this gentleman, the first thing he said to you was, call 911.
After I asked him, was everything okay? He said, no, call 911.
And again, you didn't know there was a gunshot.
No.
You and your daughter went up to what, one of the parking lots,
Yes.
turned in and pulled over and parked?
Yes.
And you walked back down.
I ran down.
Ran down. And your daughter's with you.
My daughter after me. Yes.
Okay. And when you got down there, you saw Mr. Chow, this gentleman, Mr. Chow, you saw him giving this young man, you saw him down on his knees giving this young man mouth to mouth.
No, sir.
What? Don't you recall telling the sheriff's deputy when you were interviewed on, let's see, July 25th, roughly a month after this, that you watched Rick doing mouth to mouth and saw the brown stuff came out. And then you watched him try to do mouth to mouth again.
No, sir. When I went down there, he was on his knee.
Mr. Chow.
Mr. Chow was on his knee. By then, another young lady came down, and she was on my left-hand side. She went down on her knee. I asked him about the blood on his hand because someone was injured. I need to know who was injured. I asked him, was he okay? Are you hurt? Who's hurt? And he said, him. I looked over at Cyrus, down at Cyrus. I didn't see no blood nowhere. So I'm trying to figure out where does blood come from? Who's hurt? And that's when they both rolled him over.
Because he's bleeding out the
I
back.
saw a hole in his back and just a little blood around it. They rolled him back over. I got the leaves out of his mouth, and I told them they need to do because I could not do CPR. I asked them to do it. The young lady started doing the chest compression. He started doing mouth to mouth.
Okay, so he Mr. Chow did indeed give attempted life-saving measures, including mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, right there on his knees in front of you, trying to save this young boy's life. Even to the extent,
Yes.
even to the extent that that young man aspirating or vomiting, Mr. Chow cleared his mouth and then proceeded to go back to a
No
mouth to
testimony
mouth.
about him aspirating and vomiting.
Sorry?
Your Honor, I believe that the testimony is in the right. The commentary.
I'll allow that.
It was not pretty. And you yourself did not. Do you know how to give mouth-to-mouth
I did not know. That bothers me today. That I couldn't help him. And the only thing I could do was just clear his mouth with the leaves. And I couldn't do anything else but just stay there with him because he didn't have nobody there with him. I tried.
But Mr. Chow did apparently give mouth-to-mouth resuscitative efforts to save his life. Right there in front of you. That's all we have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Hang on when you're ready.
Do you need a moment?
I'm fine.
And I'm sorry we got to rehash this without. So Mr. McCullough just mentioned that this the defendant, Mr. Chow, was giving life. He was trying to save this young man's life, is what he said, right? And that's after he shot him in the back, right?
Well, Your Honor, I object to that because this is redirect. She's already said she didn't see a gun, didn't see a shot fired.
Go ahead and ask the question. Let's see where.
So Mr. McCullough asked, or he said you went through this long litany about what happened right there, and said that the defendant, Mr. Chow, Rick Chow, was giving him mouth-to-mouth trying to save this child's life. And that was after.
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize.
And that was after Rick Chow had shot him in the back.
Yes.
And who did you see standing in a shooting position out of anybody of the three people who ran in front of your car?
So, Mr. Chow?
The defendant, Rick Chow?
Yes, sir.
The man sitting right there?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you said that you clearly saw Cyrus didn't have anything in his hands, right?
I did not see anything in his hand.
You never saw him point and turning towards them?
I did not.
He was running the entire time?
Yes, sir.
And when he ran by you, he looked scared.
He did.
And who was running behind him?
Mr. Chow and his son, I believe.
And did you ever see Cyrus turn around and confront them?
No.
Just kept running away from them.
Yes.
And they continued pursuing him the entire time.
Yes.
Now,
I'm sorry, this is what bothers me about this whole thing. And I just don't understand here. They pursued him. They created the circumstances in which, even if he were to pull this gun, he pulled it. So I don't, am I missing something here? I don't get this.
Well, the defense theory is breaking this into two separate things. So thing one is they were following him to attempt to see where he was going in order to recover, what they believed was stolen property. So that's thing one that the defense is trying to say, which is, not an unlawful act. It's not unlawful to follow somebody who you think stole something. But then they're saying now a new thing happened when they were confronted with a firearm, and that's a new circumstance that justified the use of deadly force.
Yeah, I know. It just feels so icky, but I get that like the circumstances exist, but thank you for explaining that because it still fundamentally bothers me. Like it's
Yeah,
water
so
bottles.
it's a little bit different than like getting into a fist fight and then drawing a firearm and using it. That's one event. What they're trying to do is segment this into two separate things. If you liken it to, somebody stole your wallet and then, but you also happen to have a firearm and you chase them, to try to get your wallet back or try to see, where they were going so that you could call police. But then they turn around and they draw a knife on you and then you pull out your firearm and use it in self-defense. Those would be two separate incidents that a new incident necessitating force happened when the other person presented deadly force against you. So that's what they're trying to go for. And the witness is essentially, kind of saying that wasn't what happened. She only saw him running away and then, the victim on the ground bleeding after the fact, that there was no confrontation. And the defense cross was a little bit weird because they're trying to plant seeds of doubt about whether she could have actually seen what she was testifying to, but they didn't push too hard on it. And maybe they're just trying to put that doubt in the juror's mind so it gives them something to doubt about the woman's testimony without selling it too hard, which isn't a terrible strategy. It's actually fairly effective. But he didn't really close that loop at all about why he was asking about her tinted windows and the trees that were in the way and things like that.
You got to close the loops, Law. You know this. Come on now. Sorry. Anyway, we'll get back into this. Thank you for explaining that.
also in questioning, Mr. McCullough said you didn't see a gun because he had it hidden in the front pocket.
I didn't see no gun.
Okay. Was that because it was hidden in the front pocket?
I didn't see no gun.
And have you seen somebody shot, killed, or dying in front of you like that before?
No.
And you were a little bit frantic, is the word you used?
Yes.
A little bit upset.
Yes.
Did you do the best that you could to tell the police what you saw?
I did.
And at the end of the day, you didn't see a gun in Cyrus's hands. Can that be a yes or no?
I didn't see a gun.
Okay, did not see a gun.
I did not see a gun.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
You recall?
Nope, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
You just got that much stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
All right. Y'all got it.
I do, may I approach?
Yeah, okay, y'all got it. So we're going to take our afternoon break for, let's just say 10 minutes. We'll be back out. Okay. Next step, I'll make sure it's on.
That's probably it for the day. Oh, maybe not.
They said that they were going to take their afternoon break. Let's see if we get anything else. Yeah, we do.
One more witness. Okay.
I think
cool.
we get one more. There we go.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Thank you, so the witness stand, state your full name for the record, please spell your first name.
First name is Kennedy, K-I, and then U-R.
Please go down. So, again, your name is Kennedy Carson.
Correct.
And so just to kind of move a little bit, well, I'll give you a couple court kind of procedural pieces, then I'll try to speed the process along a little bit. So you got a court reporter sitting next to you, so just need you to speak loudly enough. And if you would, I know it's normal to nod your head or say mm-hmm or mm-mm, but if you'll say yes or no, just so that we can take it down properly and that everybody on the jury can understand what you're saying.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So your mother is Lori Carson, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're the three siblings?
I have 3 siblings. I'm
Okay.
her
Where
firstborn.
are you in the fold?
I'm her firstborn.
All right. Still the more bossy.
Yes.
All right. Did you grow up around here?
Yes, I did.
What high school?
Spring Valley.
All right. So you grew up on the north side, northeast side?
Yes, sir.
Are you slightly familiar with the northeast side of Columbia?
Very familiar.
All right. Are you any relation to anybody in this case?
No.
And in fact, you're under subpoena to be here today.
Yes.
All right. Were you a witness to some matters that took place back in May of 2023?
Yes.
All right. In May of 2023, were you working?
Yes.
What were you doing at that point?
May of 2023, I was working for TD Bank Steel and lockbox services.
Okay. And your experience as a TD Bank, you just talk about some of the roles you've had there before.
I've been a teller, customer service representative, IT specialist. Now I'm a lockbox processor.
So you've been there for quite some time.
Yes.
And you dealt with the public. You dealt with multiple roles at TD Bank.
Yes.
All right. Now, back in 2023, May of 2023, where were you living?
Greenbrier Apartments.
All right. And is that in Columbia area, Richland County?
Yes, it is.
Can you give us a little bit better vantage point of where that is in Columbia?
Off of Springtree Road, Park Lane, Springtree, I believe.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you it's already been marked 615. Okay. I'm going to hand that over to you. Take a look at that if you would for a moment. See if you can familiarize yourself with that photograph. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Tell me what that looks to be.
This looks like Springtree Road, and the beginning of the photo is Park Lane.
And is that the vicinity that you lived?
Yes.
All right. Can you publish that on the screen, please? There we go. All right, so you said, and if I could have a witness step down briefly, man?
Yep.
Careful, step on that, please. So come on down here if you would. If you look up top, we can give you this morning. Tell us about what we're talking about. If you can walk me through as I ask you a couple of these questions.
Okay.
All right, so you said, show us Spring Street Road if you can from here.
This road here?
That's Spring Street? And the one that runs perpendicular directly in front of that is what?
This is Park Lane.
All right. And you were living about where back in 2023?
Greenbrier is back that way.
Okay. So I'll say at the top of the screen is the Greenbrier apartment complex?
Yes.
And that's where you were living back in 2023?
Yes.
All right. You can have a seat, please. Thank you, ma'am. Just like a music. So the if we concentrate specifically on May 28, 2023, can you give the jury an idea of what you were doing that day?
We had just came back from seeing The Little Mermaid.
So tell me who he is.
My mother, my daughter, and my niece.
Okay. So you're going to see The Little Mermaid?
Yes.
And tell us what was happening with that.
As far as when we were coming back home.
Yes, when you were coming, what were your plans for the evening after seeing Little Mermaid?
Okay, my mom was dropping me off, but I didn't have anything to drink at the house, so I was going to stop by the corner store right there, that Shell station, to grab something to drink.
Okay. Then you said the corner store, excuse me, the Shell station. Again, I'm showing council states 28, and I'm sorry, states 18 and 16, which are already in evidence. So you talked about corner store. Let me show you states 16 and 18 and tell me if you're familiar with those.
Yes.
And tell me what you're seeing in those photos. And you can actually look it up. The screen it may be up in a moment. Not apologize.
This is the Shell gas station.
Okay. And so that first, so that first video that we showed was an aerial view, meaning a kind of a bird's eye view of it. This is closer in. This is the Shell station that you were going to that particular day that states 16?
Yes.
All right. And did you go to that Shell station often?
Yes.
All right. Now, about how many times, if you could just kind of count in your head roughly how many times you've been inside that Shell station?
I can't count on my hands. It's been too many. I've lived in that area for over 3 years, so that was the gas station I frequent.
Okay.
So.
And so having been in there before, you kind of had a chance to walk and look around the store. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. And was there anything about the decorations in that store or the pictures in that store that would bring your attention to things?
What's alarming is when you walk in the store, you see all the photos on the wall.
Okay, so let me show you what's been marked in State's Exhibit number 52.
Wall of Shame making a comeback.
Take a look at this and tell me if you recognize if you're familiar with that view.
Yes.
Tell me what you're seeing generally.
The clerk stand and the photos.
Okay, and you see several photos, correct?
Yes.
All right, may I have that? And it's Stage 52 that is up on that board, the photos that you're talking about above the clerk stand. Is that a fair and accurate representation of what you would see on a daily basis or however often you shopped in that convenience store?
Yes.
All right. Did you have a chance to have conversations with the clerks and people who were in that store?
Yes.
Do you see any of them sitting in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Who do you see sitting in the courtroom, if you know a name?
Mr. Chow.
And where is he seated?
He's seated over there.
And again, the record reflect that the defendant, the witness, point out, Mr. Chow. Yes. Okay, the defendant in this case. All right, so if we focus on the 28th, you were heading home that evening, is what you said. What kind of vehicle were you guys riding?
BMW X5.
Okay, BMW X5?
Yes.
And that was your mom's car?
Yes, it was.
And you said your daughter was in the car and you were in the car?
Yes.
Where was everybody positioned inside of that car?
My mother was driving. My niece was in the passenger seat up front. Me and my daughter were in the back seat.
Okay. And you were, so again, you said you're in the back seat. I'd like to, and what, if anything, occurred as you were coming home and turning on the Spring Tree to go to that store?
We pulled into the gas station. As we were pulling in, Cyrus was running out, and behind Cyrus was his son and Mr. Chow.
Okay. So I'd like to show slide number 20 of State's Exhibit number 4. So tell us if you recognize a vehicle that you would have been traveling in on May 28, 2023.
Just passing right there.
Okay. And when you say right there, do you need to step down, or can I? Is that the one that's?
I can describe it. There's a red sign in front of the car, and then we are right behind that red sign there.
Okay. And so, as you pulled into that gas, did you take a ride into the gas station?
Yes.
All right. And what did you observe when you took a ride into the gas station?
Cyrus was running out. His shoe had fell off, and he was holding his pants up with one hand and pumping his arms with the other.
All right. And when you said he was running out, you said there were people behind him. Do you recognize in this courtroom anybody who was behind him?
Yes.
Tell us who you recognized.
Mr. Chow.
All right. The defendant, Mr. Chow? Rick
Yes.
Chow? All right. Now, I'd like to show, and tell us what was Cyrus, what was his demeanor as he was running away?
His eyes were big. He was running pretty fast.
Okay. Was it a casual stroll like you walking through the park?
No.
Describe or show the jury, if you could, with your hands, what you were observing as Cyrus came out of that store.
Cyrus was holding his pants up like this, pumping his arms like this.
You said you saw a shoe.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Explain that a little bit more.
Before he hit Spring Tree Road, his shoe had fell off.
I'd like to show slide 21 of State Exhibit number 4.
Okay, I gotta ask this question. Is this shoe gonna become relevant at some point? They keep asking about the shoe, and I mean, granted, it's alarming that somebody's shoe fell off, but like, I'm wondering if anybody can see why they may keep asking about the shoe specifically.
So here's my pure speculation at this point, and maybe they'll tie it together and prove me right or wrong. I think the idea is that he was running away because he was scared. And so his shoe came off. If he was looking for a confrontation, he wouldn't have left his shoe behind. That he was trying to escape this situation. He wasn't a willing participant. He wasn't looking to confront anybody. That's why he dropped his backpack. And, I think maybe what the state may be getting at is that the gun that was in his hoodie had fallen out already, as he was running away. And so therefore he couldn't have confronted Chow or Chow's son with the firearm. But yeah, I think the idea that they're painting is this is a kid who was running away, running for his life, not somebody who is trying to seek a confrontation, and the shoe helps build that narrative.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, because it just kept being brought up, and like I understand what you're saying now, but I was like, they keep getting on this shoe, man. Like, what the hell is with this shoe? But that makes perfect sense. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, based on slide 21 of State's Exhibit number 4, did you see a shoe?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate representation of what you viewed as you and your family were in that car pulling into the gas station?
Yes.
Can you describe about, although it doesn't seem to be in the video, where you all would have been positioned, where your car would have been, so you could see those things?
Goodness. This car is kind of in the way, but we were at the corner at the end of this parking lot area. That makes sense.
And what was Rick Chow doing at that point, the defendant Rick Chow?
He was running behind his son.
And the son, meaning Andy Chow?
Yes.
We show State's slide 27, I apologize, from State's Exhibit number 4. Can you describe, well, first of all, does that vehicle look familiar to you?
Yes.
Whose vehicle is that?
That's my mother's.
All right. And you were inside of that vehicle?
Yes, I am.
Tell us what you saw.
So Cyrus was running out, his shoe came off. He was pumping his arms and holding his pants with the other arm. He crossed the street and he tripped over the curb. At that time, he got back up. I see Mr. Chow step out. He had his arms up. And then we see Cyrus fall again to the ground. He kind of like crawled, basically, to the place where he passed.
And I'm going to go back through that with you slowly. I want to show you something real quick before we go to this next portion. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit and 3 marches, 72.
Okay, hold on. She's saying that they shoot him and he's crawls away. Like, I don't know. That just hit my brain weird. Like, it's not a bad thing on him or like anything like that. Just like, you shoot this kid in the back. Bro is crawling away, or at least that's what I heard her say. Like, that's horrifying. I'm sorry. Like, that's just insane to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's painting a grim picture, which is what you want from a prosecution standpoint.
Agreed. Like I know like the defense is gonna. I just like for the life of me, I hear about some of these cases, and I'm like, how did the jury get here? Like, how did they come to this conclusion? Because this shit is wild. Give me one sec.
Hi. I just wanted to bring one thing up. So far, we have not heard in this testimony him like being able to bring out a gun, correct? From her testimony, with him running, holding his pants, his shoe falling off, we have not heard that he went for any weapon, correct?
It's a vantage point thing. The prosecution's not gonna bring that up. They asked another witness if he was holding anything, and she said not that she could see. But when the defense got up and discussed that, they were like, well, your vantage point, you may not have been able to see it anyway. That's all that happened. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
Not never shit. Take a look at that if you will, please. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes.
Tell me what it looks to be a still shot of.
It looks to see, there's a still shot of Andy in front of his father and me and my family in the car. And Andy and his father are running.
Is it fair to say it's a still shot of the video we just watched?
Yes.
All right. I'd like to interstate 72 in the evidence.
Objection?
No objection.
All right, be stayed 72 without objection.
May we post that, please?
Yes, sir.
So as Andy and Rick are running after Cyrus, you said you saw the shoe come off.
Yes.
You said that you saw a little bit farther down the road Cyrus trip or fall multiple times?
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit more. You said that you saw him standing. Go back through that. I do not want to put words in your mouth.
I'm sure. So we pull in. We stop right where you see us. They run across. Cyrus trips over the curb. He gets back up. You see Mr. Chow go and step out, put his arms up, and Cyrus trips again and kind of gets back over. He's like a crawl to where he passed away.
What, if anything, did you see in Cyrus Carmike Belton's hands when he ran past you?
Nothing. So when he was in the parking lot, running out the parking lot, he had his book bag right here. When he tripped the first time, he didn't have his book bag anymore. When he was in the parking lot running, he was pumping his arms. It was visible that he was running.
And from your vantage point, could you see if there was anything in his hands?
There wasn't anything in his hands.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 20. Can I hand that to you?
Yes, sir.
Does that vantage point look familiar to you?
Yes.
Is that where you observed all of the goings on Spring Tree Road
Yes.
on May 28, 2023?
Yes.
Is that where you just testified you saw Rick, Chow, the defendant in this case, and his son Andy chasing after Cyrus?
Yes.
Is that where you saw that shoe fly off?
Yes.
Is that where you saw him, Cyrus, fall and the backpack fell?
Yes.
Is that where you saw after he tripped, he being Cyrus tripped over that curb, Rick do some kind of motion with his hands?
Yes.
No, I'm going to object to the leading. I think it's the same. Come on. Thank you.
What did you see him do with his hands at that point in time? Him meaning the defendant, Rick Chow.
Okay. So after Cyrus tripped, he had his hands like this. If I can.
Let me move this down. Can the witness step down here?
Damn it.
Come on down, please. I'm going to step in front of you. Thank you. All right, please continue.
Okay. If the jury is my vantage point this way.
Okay. And, excuse me, so defendant Child's right here, so where was Cyrus positioned?
Cyrus was in front of him.
Okay.
With his turn. We're all facing the same
Will
way.
you turn me in the direction of where Cyrus would have been facing Rick Bond?
Yeah. Maybe a little lower because he had tripped and he was coming back up. Yeah.
More like that?
Yes, sir.
Or,
Well, Your Honor, you can lead with words and you can lead with actions, and I object to either way being done by the solicitor.
Your Honor, you said lower, and I got lower. So if I'm getting lower, more like this or more like this?
More like that.
All right. And so and is that when you tell us what you saw when you saw him lower in the position that I was just in?
He tripped and he's coming back up.
All right, so I'm positioning myself again. Somewhere in here.
Yes, he was on his way back up. Mr. Chow was already like this.
Did you see Cyrus Carmack Belton turn around at any point?
No,
Did you see him point anything at Rick Chow or Andy Chow at any point?
no.
Did you hear anything?
There was a lot going on. My mom was in the car, and
Can I see him, sir?
my mom was in the car, a little hysterical. She said, "Is that a gunshot?" And I didn't really want to be involved with this, and I was like, "No, that wasn't a shot. That wasn't a shot." We had the windows rolled up, and so it was muffled. But yeah,
But even with the windows being rolled up and it being muffled, did that interrupt what you saw with your eyes?
No.
From the vantage point that you saw it?
no.
Now,
You're muted, Cass.
Sorry. So let me get this straight because I was putting this on the screen and not focusing. She's saying that when he's coming back up, they shoot him in the back. Is that her basic synopsis of what she just said?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I just had to make sure I'm hearing this right. Okay, thank you.
and your mother eventually, excuse me, drove down to the incident location?
Yes.
All right. And came back. Was there a conversation of some sort that took place between she and anybody?
Yes.
While you guys were still in the car?
Yes.
Okay. Who did she speak with?
Mr. Chow.
All right. And did she come back to the scene for a brief moment?
Yeah, she circled around. So after the incident took place, she drove down some. And she asked Mr. Chow, "Did anybody need help? Is anybody hurt?"
Well, don't tell me what he said, but after that conversation, the driving took place?
Yes, so she turned back around. We turned around and parked.
May I show slide number 30 of defense exhibit number 4. What do you see there?
That's my mom whipping the car around.
Who do you see walking past that car?
I guess that's Miss Chow. I'm not too familiar with her.
And is that the point you went back down to the scene?
Yes.
All right. And what happened when you went back down to the scene? I think you said, I don't want to put words around it, did you say you parked?
Yes, we parked.
Okay, all right. And after you parked, what happened? Let's start generally, that's what happened now. Don't tell me what other people said, but just tell me what you did.
We parked. My mom hopped out. I hopped out the car, and we went down to the scene.
Okay. What did you observe with your eyes?
Mr. Chow was sitting over Cyrus. Yeah, he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there.
And did you interact with, what was the scene like? What was the scene like when you were out there?
My mom made it down there before me, and when I was walking down, there was another young lady. We kind of just walked down at the same time.
Okay. What was Cyrus doing?
Cyrus was laying there.
What was defendant Rick Chow doing?
He was just sitting there, just looking at him.
What, if anything, was the son doing? Andy Chow?
He was standing off. He didn't move after the incident happened. He was still.
Did you observe anything around the scene?
There was a gun by a tree over there. Cyrus didn't have his book bag. And there's Mr. Chow and Cyrus over there. Yeah.
And do you know who that gun belonged to?
No.
Did you see a gun in Cyrus's hand at any point in time?
No.
Court's indulgence. Yes, sir. Now, a couple more questions. Could you tell any type of just the sizes of the people who were involved in this entire incident that we're talking about?
Sure.
Okay, tell us what you could observe.
Andy is much taller than his father. Cyrus is much shorter than Andy. Yeah.
Now, you've, I don't want to make this personal, so I'll try to ask this as gently as I can. How old does Cyrus look?
I thought Cyrus was like 16. Yeah, but, I thought he was 16.
You look like a grown man?
No, he looked like a child.
So I'll request that this time.
Look, I know you can't, like, rehash the highlight reel, but, like, I would have really driven the point home that this witness is saying that man fell down and was or young man fell down, was getting back up, and that they shot him in the back. That's insane. Like, I'm sorry. Hi, Attorney Di. How are you?
Hello, doing okay.
Living the dream over here. We're on
My teenage girl is not in the backyard in a hole, so that's good.
My kids keep on running in and out of the room because they just don't want to go to bed tonight. And it's summer, so I'm just like,
it's summer.
Cool, watch TV. You're good. So, Law, any thoughts so far?
No, I'm very curious to keep listening because these are some pretty compelling witnesses. Di, just to catch you up, we've had two witnesses that said one of them, had a less clear vantage point. There were some breaks in her observation, but never saw a firearm in the victim's hand. And this one is just testifying that the victim had fallen and then got shot in the back. Some pretty compelling testimony from the state here.
Absolutely. My goodness.
That's what I'm saying. This is crazy. Okay, let's finish up with her, and then I think we'll be done for the day. I think prosecution's still asking her questions, but and then I think after the defense questions, it will be done with day 1. Then we've got days 2 and 3, so that's gonna be fun. Maybe it'll move a little quicker now that we're kind of getting into all of this. So, okay, all right, I'll go ahead and play. Thank y'all.
You have slide 27, one you have on three. They say, then you just put still, and it's the child's going across the parking lot. 72. Carson, let me show you what's this. No, it's not that. This is about 72. Yeah.
Yes.
Old people learning how to use technology.
Sure. 70. Show you what's the state. Pull out as 72. So that's your automobile that you were in?
Yes.
And where were you in that automobile?
I'm in the back seat. It would be on the passenger side.
Passenger side.
Yes.
So that would be to the left side.
Well, the right side is the passenger side.
Okay. So, all right. So are you on the left side?
I'm
or
on
right
the.
side?
I'm in the back seat on the right side.
Okay. And this photograph states Exhibit 72. Is that pretty much the way the thing looked that evening?
Yes.
And it was that dark? It was 8 o'clock at night.
It was bright outside.
Bright outside. Okay. And you know the distance? Well, your automobile stopped in the parking lot, yes?
Yes. Well, right, turning into the entrance.
And there was a bush there on the side, and you pulled up to that bush.
Yes.
And you saw these 3 people run past.
Yes.
And nobody had a gun.
No.
You heard no yelling, no cursing.
No.
You just saw 3 people run past.
Yes.
Now, you said that you saw the first person who you described as a called Cyrus, you described that he appeared to be pulling up his pants.
Holding his pants.
Could he have been holding a pistol in his waistband?
No.
How do you know?
You seen the pants in his hand.
Well, didn't he have a long hoodie on, a red hoodie?
He had a hoodie on. You're still holding your pants. You can still see him holding his pants.
Did you know he had a pistol?
No.
You didn't know anybody else had a pistol?
No.
And the windows in your vehicle were rolled up.
I'm sorry?
The windows in the vehicle that you were in were rolled up.
Yes, they were.
And you saw Cyrus's shoe come off?
Yes.
Did you see him throw things left and right as
No.
he ran across the parking lot?
No.
Didn't see him throw cell phones?
No.
Did you see him throw the backpack down the road?
He didn't throw the backpack. He tripped and fell, and he got back up. The backpack wasn't on him anymore.
Had it been on his shoulders?
It was on the shoulder.
Okay. And now, the distance from where your vehicle was, and your vehicle had stayed in the same stationary position, same spot, until after he fell down. Is that correct?
Yes.
And fell down and didn't get up.
Correct.
And would it surprise you to know that that's 130 yards?
Okay.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't quarrel with that number, would you?
I wouldn't know the distance, and I seen it.
So it's longer than a football field. So if you're standing at one end of a football field, it's even further than that.
I can see down a football field.
Okay. But as you described and exhibited here,
She said I can.
these people that were 130 yards away, Mr. Chow had his back to you, as did, you couldn't see Mr. Belton, couldn't see what he had in his hands, could you?
I seen what Cyrus had in his hands when he ran across
Right,
our
you didn't have
car.
anything in his hands, that's not my question.
When he got back up from tripping, his hands were, he was like crawling when he crawled, so his hands were on the ground.
All right. But when he started to get up, and you said, I think in your, you and your mother made a 911 call, didn't you?
Yes.
You remember telling the dispatcher he might have got shot, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. I was processing my emotions.
You remember telling the dispatcher that you believed he might have stolen something.
That's what was being said.
You told the dispatcher, I don't know who shot him.
I did say I don't know who shot him.
You, so you also testified a few moments ago that, let's see, that you saw him trip multiple times
Correct. He tripped twice.
and crawl to where he passed.
Correct.
You did not include that detail in your 911 call.
I didn't.
Do you remember?
I'm going to hit on this one more time because it's so vitally important for everybody to remember. Everybody always assumes when you're making a 911 call that somehow you know everything, you have every detail, and everything is just going to be perfect in there. That's not how 911 calls work. Law pointed it out before. Responses to trauma are different. Some people react certain ways. Some people have all the details. Some people are ready to go. And then other people are just like, what the hell just happened? I'm telling you what I know right now because you're still processing all the events that are either unfolded or are still unfolding in front of your face. I just wanted to make that note because I think a lot of people hold some sort of assumption that 911 calls are just perfect at all times. They're absolutely not.
Concur.
Gotcha.
Talking to officers, Officer Carter, I believe, or Deputy, I believe it's English or Carter. Do you remember speaking to officers at the scene?
Yes.
You didn't include that detail. You never told either one of them that you saw this gun, that you saw him shot and crawled to where he died. You didn't include that in your explanation to them of what you've just seen. And this was something that was moments before.
Yes, I did.
Well, you think you did?
I know I did.
Well, I'll be happy for you to find it in this transcript, but if you think you did, you think you did.
I think I did. Yeah, I know I did.
When you went to the Sheriff's Department on July the 25th of 2023, did you tell that detail to that investigator as well?
I was asked as far as vantage point. I wasn't asked what happened.
In fact, nobody asked you any questions about what happened.
No, they wanted to know vantage point of where I was.
They wanted
And
you to draw a diagram, didn't they?
yes,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Please let her finish.
They asked you to draw a diagram?
yes,
Did they question you about anything about what you saw?
no.
Did they question you about how far away you were?
They asked where I was and to draw the vantage point of what I seen.
And you didn't volunteer anything like you've testified to today?
No.
This motherfucker is slow as fuck.
So before I sit down, let me get one more clarification here. When you saw these three people run past your vehicle, did you know that the third person in line, the person following the tall younger man, was Mr. Chow?
Yes,
You knew him to be the store owner.
yes,
But in the 911 call, you recall saying, "I don't know who shot him."
yes, I said that.
Asked and
I didn't
fucking
want to be
answered.
involved. When my mom stopped the vehicle, I told her to keep going because I did not want to be involved. My mom called 911 and she handed me the phone.
Okay.
And my mom has been hysterical in the back. And I have to be calm and process what I see. I did not want to be involved. That's the reason why I said, I don't know. Because I didn't want to be involved.
But in the 911 call, on the scene, you didn't tell the police that you saw Mr. Chow shoot anybody.
I didn't want to be involved. I was made to be involved.
Thank you.
Anything on brief redirect? Yes, sir. Now, there's a set of questions about the statement that you gave. Isn't it true that you gave a statement to the police, a written statement, on the 28th
Yes.
of May 2023?
Yes, they called me back. I went home and they called me back to make the statement.
That's fine.
I might have this marked for ID purposes only. Okay.
So Butter asked a question. Why does that matter? He's not claiming, or she's not, I think you meant she's not claiming he didn't shoot him. Correct. But like, I think Law and Attorney Dye can probably address this really well, but I'll say this. If you're just trying to plant like seeds of doubt on what the witness saw or what they said, like it kind of makes your witness look less credible. That's my at least take on it. Law or Dye, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. Excuse me. So these witnesses are disinterested parties. They have no reason to lie. And so if you press them too hard that they're being dishonest, the jury's not going to really receive that well, because they're going to say, well, they have no incentive to lie about this. You know, they have no connection. They don't stand to gain anything from, a guilty verdict. The justice doesn't directly affect them. So they're naturally going to, kind of be believed more credible. But I think what they're trying to do is just place, little seeds of doubt about, whether what they saw was, an accurate reflection of what actually happened. So they're planting those little seeds. We saw it a little bit more with the first witness for today, where, they're planting these little seeds about the window tint and the obstructed view and, things like that. And then, hoping that the jury is going to pick up and connect those dots. But yeah, if you start attacking a third party disinterested witness and challenging their credibility, I think most jurors are just going to start wondering, like, well, why would she lie? And then, that doesn't put the defense in a very strong position.
Well, it shows she's already a good witness, that the jury's like, oh, wow, if he's going after her, she must be good in some ways. I agree completely. I think when we pull in someone who's saying, like, I don't want to be here, I didn't want to report, I didn't want to do any of this, that's like some of the best testimony, in my opinion. Because it's like, well, you're here because we subpoenaed you, and now you're going to sit down and tell us what's going on. She needs to keep cool, though. It looks like she might have the propensity to maybe get super pissed off, and I hope she doesn't. Because right now, even though the questions are like, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's actually, she's very credible. She's very believable. So if she loses it, that would, I think, reduce her credibility in front of the jury.
To be fair to her, though, at least perception-wise, the way I was watching that, a couple of things, like, first thing that's going off in my mind is, like, you just wanted to drive off and somebody got shot? What the fuck? Like, I'm already thinking that. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that's my thought. And then also, I'm not saying it's anything about, like, to do against her. Like, I get it. People don't want to be involved and they don't have to be. That's completely valid. For me, that's the way I was looking at it. But my other thing, though, was I actually thought the defense attorney was kind of very antagonizing towards her more than her being rude back. She was just kind of very blunt, and that's how I perceived her, but that's just me. So could just be I'm weird.
I agree. I think the attorney before had, sorry, I'm eating nachos. I'm so sorry, everybody. If you've got the Mesopotamia, I apologize. Muting, please. But anyway, I thought he was really going after her. And we had kind of a rhythm going too. And I've noticed with this attorney that's doing it right now, it's like we have a rhythm. We're like, okay, we're getting into it. As you know, you kind of set a rhythm when you start asking and answering. And it seems like he is adding so many extra things, like the visuals maybe not at that time were okay or whatever it was. Look at there's paperwork, and that's breaking up, in my opinion, the flow and the rhythm of the trial.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that him going after her, I think she did a good job. I think she sounded a little too overly helpful to the defense, which can weaken her credibility as well, because ideally you want her to come off as a disinterested neutral party, just, sharing what she witnessed without any perceived bias. And I felt like she pushed back a little bit and offered some additional information that may have made her seem more sympathetic to the state's position. And you really don't want that. You want the jurors to believe them as disinterested, neutral parties, just honestly reporting on what they saw.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, he had asked a question like 2 or 3 times, and it was just the same question with different wording, and I was just like, I was probably losing my mind while she was losing hers, because it was like, it's asked and fucking answered, and I can't even remember what it is right now, but like it was driving me crazy because he asked it like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, bro, like we get it. We get it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently they're good. They won this, but I'm not a fan of this defense team.
I think if you start asking the same question repeatedly, it's because you're not getting the answer that you want. And if you don't want the answer, you shouldn't have been asking it to start with, in my humble opinion. So sometimes too, though, some of our dinosaurs, our older attorneys, will use that as an opportunity to get them back on track. So they're like, ooh, where was I? What was I doing? How did it go? Again, talking to the rhythm of that questioning. And they're like, I don't even know. So they're going to ask that to get themselves back on track then after that couple of times asked the same kind of question.
Yeah, like this whole defense team are dinosaurs. We have the guy with the wig and the guy that looks like Doc from Back to the Future. I think there's another one that might be younger, but yeah. Okay, well, we're really close to being done. Let's go ahead and finish this up.
You asked a series of questions. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 82 for ID purposes only. Let me take a look at that and tell us if you recognize that document. Do you recognize the document?
Yes.
Whose handwriting is that?
This handwriting, I believe, was the officer that I was speaking with, but that's my signature at the bottom.
That's your signature at the bottom? Yes. So this is what you told the officer, what the officer wrote down in your signature?
Yes.
And in this statement it says, you're making this statement I can't read today. I make this statement of my own free will in accord, without reward or intimidation. All of the above is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Do you see that written on that document?
Yes.
Okay. So, at 2123, military time, so I do my math, I can't do math. 923?
Yes.
On 5/28/23, you gave a statement to them?
Yes.
All right, and the question, did you see a kid with a gun? Answer, no. When he was running, he was holding his pants up. Is that what that says? Is that what that says?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any weapons on the ground? The answer is yes, a gun by the tree. Did you see how the gun got there? The answer is no. You remember saying those things?
Yes.
Did you hear the owner say anything about the kid? The answer, you say no. Did you hear anyone say anything about being shot? The answer is no. Do you remember saying those things?
Yes.
And do you remember in this, you're saying that you heard a pop?
Yes.
You saw the kid fall down?
Yes.
You called 911?
Yes.
You parked the car and you walked and the owner was shaking him, trying to wake him up?
Yes.
You remember saying that?
Yes.
You said that you saw people run out of the store?
Yes.
The kid, the store owner?
Yes.
The owner and his wife?
His wife came after Mr. Chow.
And that you followed on Spring Tree? And the son in the corner, and the son and the owner had the kid boxed in?
Yes.
The kid fell down and they were on arm's reach of him? And
Yes.
that's when I heard the pop? You said that?
Yes, I did.
And you said that on May 28, 2023, correct?
Yes.
At 9:23 in the evening, correct?
Yes.
And that was about an hour and some change after this incident took place, right?
Yes.
All right. I'd like to show slide 21, please, of State's Exhibit number 4. And while we're doing that, there was this question about 130 yards. Did you measure?
I didn't measure.
Do you know if the 130 yards is from the front door of the store or from the tip of the property when it goes off of their property onto the public road with Spring Tree?
I don't know where they were.
But did you have a
from.
clear vantage point?
I seen it all.
All right, so will you play that, please? My wear glasses, hard to see. Is it light or dark outside?
It's light.
And that's a fair and accurate representation of what the weather conditions were like at 8:02 or so on May 28, 2023?
Yes.
Was not dark.
It was not dark. It was dark at 9:22.
Now, you said in your direct, you saw Chow pointing at Cyrus.
Yes.
Cyrus was on his knees, getting up on the ground.
Yes.
And not too long after that, you realized that he'd been shot.
Yes.
And he passed away out there.
Yes, he did.
Do you know who shot him?
Mr. Chow shot him.
That's all my questions. Read it all.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I noticed in this statement that you gave, you say, I pulled into the store with my mom and I saw 4 people run out of the store. 4
Yes.
people. The kid, the son of the store owner, the owner, and his wife.
Yes. She picks the shoe up.
But you say here that you saw 4 people run out of the store.
Yeah, so Cyrus, then his son, and Mr. Chow. And a few seconds after that was his wife.
You didn't say that. You didn't know that these videos existed when you gave this statement?
Yes, I did. There's cameras all around that store.
I'm sorry?
There's cameras all around that store.
Oh, so you knew that there was going to be a video that would accurately reflect what really happened, not what you might
I didn't
say.
know this was going to take place at all.
And then you say in the statement the kid fell down and they were all in arm's reach of him, and that's when I heard a pop. Right?
Yes.
You didn't say that you saw the pop.
You see a pop.
Well, you didn't say you saw a gun. You said the boy got up and tried to run and he fell back down. You never said you saw Mr. Chow shoot this young man. You never said you could see the young boy's hands and that he didn't have a gun because you couldn't see him.
That wasn't asked at that time. You see the question on that document. It wasn't asked.
Well, but you're there to make sure that you tell the story.
I was answering the questions I was asked.
I see.
Oh, sorry, I was talking and didn't realize I wasn't. I'm sorry. You don't have to volunteer any information that you don't want to. She's already said she was a reluctant participant. She's already made that clear multiple times because he re-asked her, and she answered that 30 fucking times. That she didn't really want to be involved, da 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 da. And like now he's just playing semantics with the way that she relayed information to the officer. What the fuck?
Well, nobody was in a hurry to finish, were they?
There was a lot going on. I was in a hurry to leave because I didn't want to be involved. My daughter was there. My niece was there. My mom was hysterical. There was a lot going on.
And there's nothing in here about this young man crawling to die.
I stated that he got back up when he passed away. After the second time he fell, that's when he crawled over to his passing point.
Well, ma'am, what you said is if you need the statement, I can provide it to you. Here. You want to read along with me?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Well, I want to make sure that this is a fair opportunity to see about midway on that first page under A, colon, the sentence that begins with owner. You say in the next sentence, the kid fell down and they were all in arm's reach of him, and that's when I heard the pop. The boy got back up and tried to run and he fell back down.
Yes.
No crawling.
He tried to run.
No Mr. Chow
And he
shot
fell
him.
back down. I wasn't asked that.
Okay.
They asked me what I seen.
And,
Objective.
on the
I would say
second page,
objective
you
to
were
this
asked-
one. Asked and answered.
You say you saw a gun by the tree.
Been
Yes.
asked and answered so
The
many
tree you're referring
times.
to would have been within a couple of feet or a foot of where this young man died.
It wasn't a foot. It was closer to the road, but that's where the gun was found.
Right? And you were asked, did you see how the gun got there? And your answer was?
No.
No. Thank you.
All done? Yes, sir.
There is a
All right.
Yeah, I think
repetitive objection.
so we're good.
Thank you.
This is all of day one. There's like 2 minutes left, and it's just like kind of the court shooting the shit. So thoughts, anybody? No, maybe. Sort
It's
of.
tough because we already know that the Chow fella's gonna go free, and so we're just even listening and watching this. I can see that we've got some problems over here. Like the woman that was just testifying, nothing but respect for her coming in and testifying, but she's like, I don't want to be any part of this whatsoever. I just want to run away and get going. I don't want to be a part of this, and I totally respect that. And I think that's what most people are starting to say now. If they are in a situation where something's going on, they're like, nope, I'm out, and I can't blame them.
I mean, like for me, I will tell you the first witness actually had me like crying. Like that was rough to watch. She was very compelling. I want to get to how this jury surmises that like there's enough reasonable doubt here. Because to me, between the first witness and now lady being like, he was trying, like, because first of all, the fact that they shot him in the back is just like that for me right there. I'm not saying like law, like we talked about that before. It doesn't entirely negate self-defense, but like that's already wild, especially because the claim is that he saw Cyrus pointing a gun at the son. Well, if you're behind him, I'm wondering how you saw that, but okay, fair. But then this lady is like, nah, he was trying, like, he was on the ground and they shot him and then he tries to get away. Like, he crawls away. Like, to me, that's pretty fucking damning when it comes to self-defense. But there's got to be some more witnesses that tell me how the hell we got here, because at this point I'm like, what the hell?
Those are all good questions. I mean, look what we had. We had no confirmation that he actually had a weapon, really, at this point, in my opinion. And then in the store, it's like, what, 4 bottles of water, and then he just left. And so, what was the warning? Did Mr. Chow give him a warning and say, hey, give me my stuff back? No, probably not, because he was chasing after him. If you're chasing after somebody, it could be like maybe delayed fear for yourself, but then you've got to meet force with force. If he didn't have a weapon with him, then Chow's weapon was too much. But what do we have to do if we can't tell exactly what's in his hand, right? The cops will say that too quite a bit. Like, I don't know what he was holding. We're in an escalated situation and I don't want to unalive. So, the assumption could be that it was a weapon. I'm going to argue that out later. So this whole case is just, there's no winners here. Absolutely no winners at all.
Well, I think, like, I know Law said, like, what the defense is trying to do is put this into, like, 2 separate events where they're, like, chasing after them or to see where he's going because they thought he stole something. Like, I get that, and that it turns into this second event. But for me, from my perspective, right, if you're chasing somebody, you don't get mad that they're like, nah, fuck you, like, and try to defend themselves, because I couldn't see any other foreseeable event happening of somebody chasing you a football field other than they're trying to hurt you. Like, that would be
Right.
my perspective. But again, I gotta see what the defense has. I don't even know if they, like, who they're gonna call as witnesses, but I need to know.
I agree completely. One question though, Cass, when you put it that way in particular, what was the goal? Like, what was Mr. Chow's
That's
goal?
the point.
Right?
Where was he going? Like, I mean, what are they going to detain him for police? Well, he didn't steal anything anyway. And then the prosecution has put up like this wall of sort of shame that they have. And that's the normal way that they deal with shoplifters in their store. They also have a very intricate camera system that showed that he put the water bottles back. So, like, in my mind, I'm like, there are 3 people working this store. One of them couldn't have walked back there and been like, yeah, you know what? He didn't steal anything. And even if they thought they did, just look out the fucking door and be like, oh yeah, he kind of went down this, he took a left down this street, like, begins and ends there. That feels normal to me. But yeah, I would have to ask, like, if you're chasing somebody, what was your goal? Like, where were you going to go? They didn't call the cops to say anybody was stealing that I'm aware of. So police weren't on the way. What were you doing? Like, why were you doing this? I don't know. Maybe this just boggles my mind. I'm pretty, like, cool on, like, I think people have a right to defend themselves, but I just don't know that I see it here.
Well, the amount of force is important. Hey,
Yeah.
Law, are you still here? Did you fall asleep?
What's about?
I fell asleep on another live and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on a live. But it was one with the magas. I didn't even know it. They were just screaming. I was like, oh shit, don't unmute my microphone.
He may have fallen asleep, or maybe he's in the shower working or something. I don't know.
Why
He's
would he be
left
in the
us.
shower?
Well, I don't know. Like, maybe he's just taking a shower.
I'm sure he's taking a shower right in the middle of your
Well,
wonderful life.
I don't know, man.
You're
Like,
cracking me
I
up.
just work for the guy. Like, I don't know his personal business. I don't know what he's doing up
He's
there.
got like a desk in the shower. This is where I think the bus, with my desk with the shower on full blast. All right, Law. Bit of a diva, aren't you?
Nah, love Law. He may, I don't know. He's got chickens and all that kind of shit. Maybe he's out there. What
Give
were
me some
you
chickens.
doing?
Oh, he's back. He's out of the shower.
He's back.
You
Okay,
guys
don't forget to dry your hair before you go to sleep.
Good notes.
Yep.
Good notes.
You're welcome. That was free.
What you got, Law?
Not much. It's just I'm very curious to see how this shakes out, because right now I'm having a hard time seeing how the jury came to the verdict they did.
That's what I'm saying. And I want to know how, like, I'm just saying, I get that you said it. They're trying to make this two separate events. But if you're chasing somebody, what the fuck was your goal? Nobody in that store called the cops that we know of to report of a theft. None of that occurred. What would have their end goal have been? I can't foresee somebody chasing me a whole football field unless they're just mean to do anything other than harm me. So like for me, even if like they're saying Cyrus pointed this gun, well, what did they think the outcome of that was going to be? Like what did they think that outcome was going to be? Because that's the question I have.
I keep wondering if this has any kind of hot pursuit elements, right? Where officers can go into a zone that they've not been given a warrant for if they are in hot pursuit. So I kind of call it the Dukes of Hazzard moment. But if you're chasing someone and you're the cops and you bring them down, that's one thing. But if you're chasing someone and you're just a regular civilian and you take the kid down, that's another issue. So that's kind of how I'm processing it. I'm trying to think like, well, why would self-defense work at this level? But again, I've not seen any of the jury questions that they were asked, any of those at all, or anyone else. I'm not sure. At this point, I'm like, well, what's the other side besides this? Because it does seem a little weird that a child is getting unalived by a pew pew in the back running away.
Defense said in their opening that they're going to have witnesses who testify to seeing him pull a firearm. So
okay,
it'll be I'm reserving judgment.
I'm sorry. So it's going to come down to who we believe, right? The people that said he did or the people that said he didn't.
Yeah, and at least right now, there's at least, for both of the state's witnesses, the lay witnesses, that there's enough that, they didn't see every second of the encounter. And so your defense is probably going to be leaning in that, but I want to see who's going to testify that they saw the firearm. What's their credibility? What's their vantage point? All that will be very interesting.
$20, white folks. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I'm just saying there were two look like tall younger white men there. I'm almost betting. I'm betting some good money on this. We'll put $20 in a pot. I'm betting that's it.
Yeah, and I'm also curious to learn the makeup of the jury after we're all done with this, because we've got a black victim, a black prosecutor, two black prosecutors actually, and then the first officer who testified was also black, and
black witnesses.
If there's not, that too. Thank you. And if there's not a black person on the jury at all, that's going to be very interesting and telling.
I've been thinking about that actually, Law, because again, I'm not sure exactly what the population dynamics are, but in my area, because we've only got, 4 or 5% people of color in the entire state. So rurally, we have even less. And I kept thinking, like, how would that be possible? But then for me, when I look back at the juries, they're pretty much all not people of color because there just aren't any people of color. Now, it seems like in that area that there are people that could have gone onto the jury. But I was just thinking about the other day. I suppose in our rural communities, in our big red states, there just aren't people of color to choose from.
That I will say that that's not inherently true here in Texas. We're actually a majority minority state, which a lot of motherfuckers keep forgetting, which is crazy. But like
Ooh.
we have a very large Hispanic population. Like particularly in my area, I'm in a more rural area of Texas. I'm in the Permian Basin. We have a very large Hispanic population. So it's always kind of
Oh.
interesting to watch how that plays out.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. Yeah, I don't. There's just basically like me and a couple families that live in the area. That's it for people of color.
Well,
Gotcha.
and also it depends on how they determine the jury pool too, because if they
Right.
go off of like voter registration rolls, persons of color have a higher percentage of non-participation in voting than the white people do, and same for driver's licenses. There's a
Ooh, that's true.
higher proportion of persons of color who don't have driver's licenses compared to white people. So even then, you're also because of those barriers of entry to the jury selection, you're lessening the likelihood, even on a per capita basis, even if the community is more diverse.
I'm
Well, I
not
keep thinking, like, what do they do in Alaska, right? I mean, if you got to pull a jury in Alaska, what's your jury going to look
I wonder
like?
if they have those 6-person juries. I'm always curious, like if they have the 6-person juries there. But we're gonna be seeing that at SCOTUS next season when it's on.
Ugh.
You know, the Real Housewives of SCOTUS and shit. But yeah, I'm glad that they're gonna be looking at the 6-person juries because I just don't know how you can nail someone on a felony with less than 12. I think that's crazy. But we use PFD for jury duty. Wait, I don't know what that means. Somebody explain to me what's PFD. Shelly's in Alaska, I believe. Anybody know?
I don't know. Is it a sandwich? Because I'm not making anybody a sandwich tonight, okay?
I don't know. I get a jury summons like every couple of months here. Like I get jury
What?
notices all the time. Like I consistently get them. I don't know
Ooh.
why or why my name. And every single time, I'm always like, I have children, blah blah blah. Like this is not gonna work out for me. Like I don't know that I have somebody to consistently watch them. And it's
Uh-huh.
like they don't I guess process. I know they can't because they can't keep a record of it or whatever, but yeah, like I get them every couple of months. Like we get these little postcards with like the red on it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, though.
I
I mean, don't you think that's weird that she's getting a jury notice every few months?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but also, it kind of depends on your population versus crime rate relative to the population. If you've got a lower population and more criming going on, then you might get selected more often.
Oh,
like
that's a good point.
ours, they just send you the little postcard and then you have to call and like answer
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of questions. So I'm maybe wondering if they do a process of elimination from the people calling. And so they kind of send it out to just a lot of people. And maybe that's why, because ours, we call, it's like a number or something. And then you have to answer I think it's like 7 questions. They just ask about do you have children? Do you, would you be able to complete the jury duty depending on what jury you're on? It's a whole thing. So
Yeah, and yeah, we do the same thing. We've got terms that are set, so we'll have a whole panel of jurors that for a month are on that that panel list, and you might get called in, to be seated, or you might not. You have to kind of call in every day and say, hey, am I, do I have to come in or do I not have to come in? But then sometimes too is if you've already been selected, but you haven't actually been called into seat for a jury, you stay on the list a little bit longer than other people do, because you've already been kind of pre-qualified. So that might be something that's going on, is you've been pre-qualified as an eligible juror, and you haven't actually been called in for a case yet. So that's why you're getting notices more frequently.
Honestly, I'm about to just be like, I don't know when this is going to be, but like, I got to find a babysitter or something. I'm about to just go try and the one time I actually went in and they were asking me stuff, and I can't remember because this is so long ago, but like they asked about like my background or like my experience or whatever. And I was like, I've worked in the legal, and they were like, no, we don't want you. So, or at least that's my assumption, is that's why they cut me. So,
yeah. I have some demographics of Richland County where this happened. It's Columbia, South Carolina, essentially. Black or African American is 45 to 47% of the population. That's the majority. And then white non-Hispanic is 39 to 40%. Hispanic or Latino is 6 to 7%, and Asian is 3%.
interesting. I'm not bringing anybody else up because I'm probably going to end after we just kind of like talk about this case a little bit. That I just don't have the energy for it tonight. It's not anything against anybody. I just need some like calm, chill, nothing too crazy. Maybe tomorrow or maybe Friday night we'll have people up where we kind of go a little bit more into detail and answer some questions. Unless, do y'all want me to bring people up? Because I don't want to be rude to y'all. So.
No, I'm happy to wind down.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
if somebody has a specific question, if they want to type it out, we can hit it real quick. But
Sure.
yeah, not for a long conversation.
Yeah, no, it's just I'm just in one of those moods for the past couple of, like, I just need chill, I need calm. I haven't even been on TikTok really or doing anything because I'm just like, I just need the chill.
Mm-hmm. Kristen, you know you can fit everything into that small spot. You know you can do it, hon. So just type it out.
We could probably get the gist of the question. Yeah, it's not to be offensive to anybody. I don't know. I'm sensitive, so I'm just
Well,
trying to
no
keep it
worries.
chill.
Kristen, I would consider one of like my dearest friends. She's been
Aw,
on with me for years now.
love that.
The only one that can flirt with me. Hey, you know
Aw.
you still got that, Kristen. Nobody else is allowed to flirt, just Kristen.
That's cute. But yeah, no. So these first two I won't say they're the first two witnesses, but at least the first two witnesses we've heard of like real recounting of events have been not very kind to the defense's position. And just for me, it's the shot in the back part. That's the part for me that's just, bro, like, even in Texas, if somebody is fleeing, you don't get to just shoot them. Like, I'm sorry, we have very strong self-defense laws, but if they're trying to leave, no, baby, like, you cannot do that. That's crazy to me. And
I think
again,
there was a U.S. Supreme Court case that actually said that you can't shoot in the back of a fleeing felon. At the state level, though, I think it's probably going to be different depending on your jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's Tennessee versus Garner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had that case pulled up on my computer. I thought no one would ever know the name of it, and there it is, right there.
Yeah, it's a big one for law enforcement. Yeah, it's the fleeing felon rule. That deadly force is never justified on a fleeing felon or somebody running away, unless there's substantial likelihood that the person poses a threat to the public if they're allowed to go free. So This is, you're talking about like, somebody's a serial unaliver, and if they're allowed to go free, there's a substantial likelihood that somebody's gonna, unalive, or somebody's running for a detonator on a boom boom, those kind of situations. Obviously it's the lesser harm is the deadly force, but it's a very high threshold.
Well, and like here, like on the self-defense, like it's been way too long since I've taken an LTC class here because I just let mine expire because frankly we don't fucking need it in Texas anymore. But I remember so specifically, they're like, if they're trying to leave, you don't get to just keep going. Like you let them go. You do not get to shoot. Like you're gonna have a whole problem. Oh, license to carry, Shelly.
And that's my biggest thing with this case, and the people defending it, is what piece of property is worth anybody's life, and
Exactly.
especially when we're talking about bottles of water, like that's
children.
that too, yeah. That's the worst case scenario, based off of because he was being watched in the store, and maybe they didn't see him put it back. Worst case scenario, we're talking about somebody dying over water bottles.
I said this before, kids sort of are considered property by the court, but that would be the only property that I would ever unalive somebody for. You can take my purse, please don't, but like you can take all my shit and you're not going to get a lot out of me. But like the only time that I would ever, I feel like at least that I would ever use that type of force is like, obviously you're threatening me or my children. Aside from that, take it. I don't need it. You want my wallet? I can cancel my cards. I can get a new ID. Like those are things I can make happen. Like it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, SWAT. I was living in, yeah. Apparently this happened in 2023, which is wild that it took until 2026 for the case to happen, but I don't know. Maybe
I think there's a lot
courts move slow.
slowing down our courts. I think honestly, and completely honestly, I think C-19 is still, there's still people that we're trying to collect that have fallen through the cracks for different things. So that seems to have slowed it down, but it also isn't that unusual in my opinion.
Yeah, well, in South Carolina, along with Georgia, basically, like, your speedy trial rights don't exist there. So even if you demand a speedy trial, my brother has been incarcerated in both South Carolina and Georgia, and he was held for over a year before he got a trial in South Carolina, and over 16 months before he had a pre-trial, before he took a plea deal in Georgia. So
holy buckets.
Their backlogs are absolutely insane.
That's crazy. And I feel like somebody should sue. That's insane. Like, I don't know how you speed it up, but like, that's too fucking slow.
Well, the people, I feel like we're kind of in another situation as with immigration. Not that immigration and criminal are together, but when you've got so many people, you're like, let's get 3,000 people a day. Where are you going to put them? Where are they going? When are they going to get to be seen by someone that has any kind of authority to offer them assistance? It's like they don't care. They just pick them up and then put them away somewhere off to the side, and they're just sitting around waiting to see if they're going to have something happen with their keys. It's the idea, I think, of like putting them into detention that's such a big deal. Or here in a lot of our southern states, like the zero policy, we're really hard on our criminals, we're cleaning up the streets. Meanwhile, people like, I wrote 3 bad checks. It's been 18 months in jail, That's really heartbreaking in my humble opinion.
Well, there was a case like that. I think it was out of Georgia where this man, I think he was in there for, if I remember it correctly, and again, I read this article months ago. He was in there for like 10 fucking years just habeas petitions completely ignored. Like, it was crazy. I remember reading about it, and I wish I remembered the gentleman's name, because I was like, that's insane. Like, everybody just missed it. Like,
That's really
how does that
weird.
happen?
I've never heard of anything that long before.
I'll have to see if I can find it again. I swore I saw it. Like, I want to say it was an article on NBC. I want to say, but I remember reading it and just thinking to myself, like, this has got, like, somebody's playing with me. Like, this cannot be real. But it was not Richard Miles Davo. I believe it was out of Georgia. But yeah.
You know, another question I had too, speaking of Georgia, is when we're talking about speedy trial, because we did have 3 of the people out of the RICO case with Trump that had wanted speedy trial, and then they settled out, which I still think that was a good idea, even though everybody else, the case got dismissed. But the question in that situation, they were like, let's get going into trial. But I just can't see how year after year after year no one would come in and assist you. I can't figure out how that would possibly work for that long of a period of time. You should be in prison at that point. You're in there for that long, you're no longer in the jail. You're in the prison now. It's law's fault. Law, clean it up in Georgia. What are you doing in Georgia, Law?
Absolutely nothing.
All right.
Law's like, fuck that. That's not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm not doing that shit.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I can't really complain. Like, I'm not going to say our courts are like the fastest ever here. I mean, immigration courts, I'm not counting. But like, our process moves fairly like at a normal rate here, at least in my like experience. Like, I've never had anything super crazy. We have had weird rogue cases, but like for the most part, Texas moves pretty like in a reasonable amount of time, like nothing too crazy. So
it takes a lot of time because they're so, in my opinion, because they're so careful to not make mistakes. And mistakes do get made, so they have to go back and fix them, and then you come back in again. But I think that's one of the pieces that I try to remind myself of. I'm like, they're just making sure everything's right. It doesn't matter that it's been 4.5 years. You know, it's fine.
God damn
We
it.
just want to make sure we don't have any spelling errors.
Not the 4.5 years. Yeah, no. On the Breonna Taylor case, this is an interesting side note because I covered that one not too long ago. Breonna Taylor case, one of the person who pled guilty on the federal charge, it was a lady cop. She still has not been sentenced. Still. She pled years ago. Still has not been sentenced. I find that insane. How long could it possibly fucking take to sentence somebody? Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Law, wake up. She's asking you a question.
He's good.
42.
Exactly.
I
Answering
agree.
life, universe, and everything. Perfect.
That's right. I agree wholeheartedly.
All right. Well, it is about to be 12:30. I think I'm going to wrap it up for the evening. We're going to start day 2 tomorrow and get into some of that. Hopefully we'll see this flow a little bit better. You know, we had the first day and kind of doing all this stuff, but hopefully days 2 and 3 will flow a little better and we'll be able to get through these a little bit quicker. But do y'all have any final thoughts, final words? Anything?
Well, I would say, again, just to make sure, Law, you need to dry your hair, right? And then put on a bonnet. I'd recommend a bonnet, a small one. You don't need the big one.
Noted.
And you'll love it. You'll be happy with the results, I promise.
Good advice. My final words, don't shoot people in the back.
So wise, Law. So wise. So real.
Now you're just showing off. You're showing off now.
So demure, so mindful. Lal's got this. Yes, always wear a bonnet. I have one for my long hair. It's perfect. Anyway, yes,
Preach it.
don't shoot people in the back. That is great advice, always and forever. Tomorrow night we'll start at 10. We're going to be starting on day 2. Hopefully this moves a little quicker because they're kind of getting everything set up. We'll hear from some more witnesses and we'll try to figure out how this jury found this guy not guilty. But on that note, I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody who came in, gifted, tapped, all the stuff. And everybody have a good night. Bye,
You
guys.
too. Take care,
Bye, y'all.
Cass.
Oh, there it goes.